second series of the season had Colorado coming into Chicago and the return of Kris Bryant. I think he went 0 for 10 in the series. Very sad Kris Bryant, as we've chronicled. All the things we talked about. We had that interview in The Athletic several months ago talking about how sad he was.
Right.
It was just an odd article, and he made it sound like life was sort of happening to him instead of him being on top of the world with a close to $200 million contract. He can do anything he wants. He just chose to sign with Colorado and said he didn't realize how shitty the organization was. Should have done more research. Talked about how much pressure was on him in Chicago. He did reveal, and this didn't happen during the series. This actually happened last week after that series, but he did say that he had received death threats at some point, which I found shocking and really sad. I think that's awful on it. But I'm trying to piece together when those death threats came or where they possibly could have come from. I don't think he's receiving death threats in Colorado. I don't think the fans are all that up in arms necessarily, or maybe it could be an isolated Unabomber type person, but sending him a single death threat. But I'm guessing it happened during the end of his time in Chicago, whether that was from frustrated Cubs fans or I'm not going to throw White Sox fans under the bus, but it could happen.
Oh, God.
The only thing I can think of is him signing with Colorado. Disgruntled Cubs fans were sending him death threats because he didn't sign with the Cubs, even though I don't think that was on the table. It's just weird. I guess I never considered that someone like Kris Bryant would receive death threats, or who should, no one should receive death threats, but he'd be the last guy I would think would have to suffer that. And maybe that is kind of colors that article, like how, this career isn't turning out quite the way he thought. And it's more of a pain in the ass than he thought. And dealing with the horrors of social media is more than he bargained for. It sort of led to more. Yeah, I know it sucks, but I don't know. It sucks that anyone's getting death threats for anything, but I think it affected him more than most. And for him to actually bring it up just raises questions. So
isn't it obvious who's sending them the death threats or who did?
I don't know. What's your theory?
Steve Bartman.
Oh, I see.
Returning the favor.
Wow. Returning the favor. Well, that was 12 years before Kris Bryant arrived in the organization.
But, hey, 20. We talked about things 20 years ago for the White Sox, so I thought I'd,
all right. Okay, fair play.
Touché is what you should say.
Cubs, yes, touché.
Wordhole Media.